Oh my God. I can't even contain myself. I can't contain myself right now. I mean, I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, guys. Within 5 years, we're going to have another Super Bowl appearance. The Eagles dismantle, destroy the 49ers 31-7. I mean, destroyed. I mean, look, I could talk about the things at the end of this video of what, some things that went wrong with the Eagles offense. And obviously, if it was play calling, Jalen Hurts was off, whatever the case may be with all that. Okay. But to go over this, I don't know what to start with, really, because we didn't play up to par, and we still whooped them. We didn't play up to par, and they still got lit up. I mean, got lit up. All that trash talking from the fans. What Brock Purdy is going to do. Brocky. I mean, we turned Brocky into broccoli. I mean, that's what we did. And I got to say this, okay? No matter what the media says after this game, count the Philadelphia's out because they're going to do it. Did the Eagles really defeat the 49ers, or did the 49ers really, mess this game up on their own and they didn't have Brock? I don't want to hear the excuses of it. We literally put two quarterbacks in body bags. Two quarterbacks in body bags, okay? To go over this game really quick, just real fast. We started out in the first quarter. Sanders had a touchdown, okay? Purdy fumbled the ball. Haason Reddick was a monster today, a complete monster. Another crazy game from Haason Reddick. That turned into a fumble. The Eagles got no points, and Purdy had an issue with his elbow the rest of the game. He couldn't pass the rest of the game. He came back later in the game and couldn't do a damn thing. And Bosa ended up getting hurt later as well. And Lane Johnson with a torn abductor, okay, a groin injury that he needs surgery on, shut down Nick Bosa. Shut him down, okay? There was a go route, because Ward and A.J. Brown got into it before really through walkthroughs. Ward was walking through the Eagles walkthrough like an idiot, and Brown kind of got in his face after that. And, it wasn't a good game from A.J. Brown, but I think at the same time, Hurts was struggling today as well on that pass that went over his head. It was an overthrown ball. The Sanders touchdown, that happened in the first quarter. It was on a really deep ball to Devontae Smith that it wasn't a catch. He caught it, fell to the ground, didn't maintain control. They didn't catch it. The 49ers have to blame themselves for whoever's working upstairs, whoever's on the coaching staff. They didn't challenge it. So it counted into the next play. Okay. Covey, a fair catch inside the 10-yard line. Eagles offense couldn't get things going. Then we punt the ball from our own end zone. Really bad punt. Brett Kern has done a really horrible job with these punts. Two punts. One apparently hit one of the camera wires that everyone was pointing to, and they still gave the 49ers the short field position from that bad punt. Whether it hit a wire or not, I have no idea, but we need Aaron Sipos back in a couple weeks because Brett Kern, yikes. Can't punt that ball to the 40, 45-yard line two times. I mean, it's just way too much. Too much of an advantage with field position. Okay, and then they get the ball back. McCaffrey literally breaks three tackles on really bad Eagles tackles. That's one thing they have to shore up because that really made me angry. Really did. And then the Eagles got the ball back. The run game kept going. They threw some short passes. Kenneth Gainwell, another monster game. Kenneth Gainwell, man, I got to say, postseason Kenneth Gainwell. Look, he's had a good year, but this postseason with Kenneth Gainwell, man, he's really opened my eyes a little bit. I'm not going to get too ahead of myself and say, number one running back for next year. But I'm not going to say that. I'm going to give it a little bit of a chance, give him a little bit more time. Some fans are going to say yes. Some fans are going to say no. Miles Sanders had a good day. I mean, the Eagles ran 140 yards. They scored 4 rushing touchdowns on the number one defense that you can't run on, right? That happened. Miles Sanders had another touchdown on that drive. Reddick had a fumble recovery, and that was on the fourth string quarterback that came in that was on his 13th team. Okay, we went through the fourth quarterback that ended up getting a concussion, which Purdy had to come in later on. I mean, they were dropping like flies. That defense for the 49ers, they were committing penalty after penalty after penalty after penalty. And really, we didn't start running with Jalen Hurts until the third quarter. Really, the end of the third quarter is really where they started to run with Hurts. Hurts got up slowly, and then they still ran with him 4 times plus 2 QB sneaks that gave him the rushing touchdown, which is absolutely insane. 15 rushing touchdowns, and obviously going to the Super Bowl now, the youngest quarterback going into the Super Bowl in history. Okay, Boston Scott had the touchdown as well. Then, obviously when more things were going on, Johnson, that quarterback, like I said, he had a concussion. Ndamukong Suh, just laid him out. It was absolutely insane. And like I said, they started running with Hurts more in the third quarter, the QB sneaks and those 2 runs, that one run that he broke that got them into the red zone. It was just an amazing game. It was already done. And I didn't look at this is another game. I'm like, we didn't play up to par. We didn't play up to par at all. And the Eagles whooped their ass. They still did it. That number 1 defense. I don't care what the media has to say. Philadelphia's going to be the underdog going to the Super Bowl. They were the underdog, only 2.5-point favorites. Not much. Usually when you're the home team in a playoff game, it's 3.5 favorites. But they were only 2.5 because obviously, like I said, the Niners are still a very good defense. I think Shanahan blown another game for this team, another big game for this team with a roster. They've had a really pretty good roster the past few years. But this is... I gotta say, this is, let me get to the end. This is the cherry on top of this whole situation. The cherry on top is that we got in their feelings. They were pissed off. They started a brawl. They started a fight. Trent Williams, that team is one of the softest teams I've ever seen in my life. You saw them coming through the tunnel at Lincoln Financial Field. They were coming through the tunnel for their entrance, and they were dancing. Like, they thought they were going to come into the Link and take this game over. They thought their fans were going to fill up 68,000 seats. They thought they were going to have some takeover, and that all those press conferences we heard all week from those 49ers players, Philadelphia's not a big deal. We're road warriors. Well, all that crap. Okay, you can't talk all that crap. The Eagles players really didn't talk anything at all. They are businessmen on a business day, like in this game, and took over. Cherry on top, Trent Williams is a bitch. You know why? Because not only did he look so weak, and the rest of that team looked also weak right with him, he grabs Kevon Wallace by the back of his body, throws him on the ground, then hits Nakobe Dean in the helmet, in the face mask. Then Ndamukong Suh comes over and says, "Bro, what are you doing? Like, you're a savvy vet, man, and you're like, that's embarrassing." But I actually love it. We pissed them off so much that they had to throw a jab. And the jabbing, it was going, they were talking back. The Eagles and 49ers were talking back and forth this whole game until it really boiled over. So those fans, that team, that Brock Purdy, let me tell you something. Blame those fans. Like, I totally believe in bad juju. I really do, because when you go to the Rocky statue, it's a curse, man. When you go to the Rocky statue, when you're facing the Eagles in the playoffs, it's a curse to do what they did. The team that didn't do it to us was the Falcons back in 2017. They played, they lost, they went home. None of this happened. The Vikings game, that happened. Okay, they did the same thing. Okay, they took that 2021 game from the Philadelphia Eagles, their home opener, and thought this was going to be what they were going to look like. Like, what? You have got to be out of your mind to think that roster is going to be somewhat similar to what we have this year. Do you know what we have? We told you guys this defensive line was going to get after it, and Brock Purdy didn't last more than a quarter, sat there like a statue and got hit, got punched in the mouth, and he was gone. Came back later in the game, in which we knew, like, well, the 49ers are down like 2-3 touchdowns. They have to try to, like, pass the ball. They were doing end arounds. They were trying to get Debo more involved. He couldn't couldn't pass. His elbow is that messed up. He couldn't pass. Don't blame us. We're in the same situation as you are. So if your players get hurt, or if the refs called a lot of good, there were some good ones and there were some bad ones. But a lot of the roughing the punter and like a lot of these, like their defense was just kicking themselves in the mouth nonstop during that game. Okay. But here's the thing. I think the defense played well. Besides the 3 broken tackles on Christian McCaffrey, that you can't do that. That's number one. This offense, it struggled. Okay, it definitely struggled. Hurts didn't look like himself at times, until like the end of the third quarter. He started to, he just didn't look. It wasn't all on Jalen Hurts. When it comes to those passes, the one that A.J. Brown would have been a potential touchdown, they should have been up 21-7. They should have been up 21-7, okay, at the half. Should have been like, 21-7, and then it should have been like 28-7. It should have been, we should have scored probably a lot more points, to be honest. Okay, I think it was a mixture of just this play calling, like 3rd and 4, they run the ball. I mean, I don't want to run the ball against the 49ers on 3rd and 4. At certain moments, that was a bad moment to run the ball. I think they should have passed the ball at that point when they couldn't convert it. Obviously they went for 4th down. We went for 4th down in the first quarter, which led to, a touchdown, which was great. I like that Nick was a little aggressive, but we were putting points on the board too. So it was a great thing. So it, like I said, it wasn't all on Jalen Hurts. I think the play calling was a little weird at times. I think it was Jalen Hurts just not, because I think they handicapped him. He didn't run until the 3rd quarter, really. He didn't have a design run till the 3rd quarter. Well, they did it earlier, I think once or twice, when we're back in our end zone, when they almost got a safety on us because we were backed into our end zone. Luckily, Hurts was on top of, I think it was Bosa on top of his body, and he rolled to the 1-yard line, so we were saved on that. That saved points and for them getting the ball back at the same time. But I think it was a mixture of just them being careful with him. I don't know why, and I understand, like, you want to pass the ball. I understand that you don't want to run with Hurts and get him hit too many times. But after he got up slow at the end of the 3rd quarter, got into the 4th, and they still, they still ran with him. And then he broke that one tackle, got to the red zone, and then they did like 2 QB sneaks after that. So to me, it's like, is the shoulder really that bad? But Jalen Hurts showed poise. Jalen Hurts I thought the protection was good. I think it was great, to be honest with you. There was a couple times he ran out of the pocket, but the thing is, he didn't take sacks. He threw the ball out of bounds when he had to. So, he was smart. He played smart even when things weren't working well to his standard or the offense standard. Those little dump-off passes to A.J. Brown, one to the left, one to the right. What the hell? What is that? I don't know what that is. I'm just nitpicking, but I'm a content creator, and I have to talk about, not just the good things, but the bad things. But trust me, I don't think this is going to affect us at all. The only injury we had in this game was Landon Dickerson that had an elbow injury. I think so. He got hit in the elbow, I think, really, really hard. And I don't know. He had a brace on it, so I don't know how bad it is. But I have a lot of faith in, to be honest, I really do have a lot of faith in Andre Dillard playing at that left guard spot if they have to, get on to the Super Bowl. Well, just think about it, guys. At this point, this is the perfect time to get healthy. This is the perfect time to get more healthy, and the guys to get, guys that are banged up at the end of the year, 2 weeks, get these guys back up to what they're supposed to be. You have 2 weeks to kind of prepare here, so there's going to be a lot of media, a lot of attention where these two teams are going to get. Whoever we're facing at this moment, making this video, I don't know who we're facing yet, so we'll obviously know by the time you watch this, we'll definitely know. But we didn't play up to par, and look what we did. It's just insane. Look, the 49ers defense is good. I got to say, it's really good. We knew it was going to happen. But that secondary was that secondary was suspect because that defensive line was really, I don't know, it was bandaging up what they could do in that secondary. Ward was definitely one of the weak links to that secondary because he got a couple holding calls on A.J. Brown. Just things just weren't working. The Eagles tried to throw some dagger shots downfield, to throw some kill shots downfield. They couldn't do it. Couldn't get any of those in besides the one from Devontae Smith beginning of the game, but the run game really started to work really well at times. And you know what? I think it got better. Between the second half, I think the run game was a lot better than it was. Jalen Hurts obviously running with his legs, and then pressuring the 49ers to catch up with the scoreboard because Purdy comes back in the game after the other quarterback, the fourth-string quarterback, I forgot his name, goes out with a concussion, and Purdy can't throw. Simple as that. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. The Eagles are not going to get any respect for this game. Jalen Hurts isn't going to get any respect for this game. That's just what it is. But we thrive off of this. We feed off of this. And it's just what it is, man. It's just what it is. Like, I mean, it was already enough that the Niner fans were acting the way they were, especially at the Rocky statue, then at the Link, and then they're like acting as victims when they lose this matchup. I haven't heard a damn word from nobody. I haven't heard nothing. They should be embarrassed. That's what they did. They talked all week, and this is what happens. It's not easy playing in Philadelphia. It's not. Like, the crowd that's the one thing you have to worry about on top of the team you have. This defense played really good. There's already news on Jonathan Gannon that had an interview after the game that he's staying in Philadelphia, which I think is a good thing. As much as he can get, kind of annoying during the season, or depending on a Eagles fan perspective, it looks like Gannon is staying with Philadelphia. It looks like he's staying. I don't think he's getting a head coaching job. I think this is it right here. So I don't care what team we face in the Super Bowl. This team is poised. This team is determined. This team is ready. This team, of course you got to worry about this team losing the Super Bowl, and I get it. You know what I mean? But they have to stay aggressive. They have to stay poised. They just have to keep doing what they're doing, and I think they'll be perfectly fine. But I got to love it. 49ers get an ass whooping. They start taking swings at us, and we were in their feelings. Because to be honest with you guys, that Niner defense, it was good, but we exploited a lot. This is the best defense you're going to face. The best defense you're facing in the playoffs. The Bengals defense ain't like that defense, and the Kansas City defense ain't like that. Okay, definitely 1,000,000%. This is the best defense. You could beat that team. You could run on that team 140 yards, whatever it was, rushing. That's a good day. Struggled in the passing game a little bit. Totally get it. It was play calling. It was Hurts, and I think it was a mixture of a few things. I don't think it was all on Jalen Hurts. Don't make it all about it was all Jalen. Yeah, the one that A.J. Brown I think was on him, but when it comes to some of the play calls on certain downs, it is what it is. Hopefully Aaron Sipos comes back because Brett Kern, sorry, but he's got to go at punting. I can't stand it. We didn't have a return. We didn't have a good return. I think Boston Scott had one pretty good return. I think it was to the 40-yard line, something like that, or 35 or something like that. So one good return. So at least from the three stages, we played pretty good. We struggled offensively a little bit, but 31-7, and we struggled. That's really scary going into the Super Bowl. That's all I got to say, guys. I mean, I want to congratulate all of us for supporting this team all year and just watching this thing grow from last year, from the moves in the past couple off seasons, and what this thing has built, what we have built, from Andy Reid to Chip Kelly, rebuilding that team to the Chip Kelly era, rebuilding to the Doug Peterson era, and then rebuilding to the Nick Sirianni era. This team has rebuilt like three times. Three times. And within 5-6 years, you're in 2 Super Bowl appearances. This one counting. So there's a lot to look forward to here. You're in the Super Bowl right now, and you got the 10th overall pick of the draft. You're in the Super Bowl, and you got the 10th overall pick. You got 2 first-round picks this year. It's just, man, no wonder Howie got GM of the year, whatever the award was, because these moves are just incredible. It's all business with Jalen Hurts. There is no doubt in my mind that Hurts will be at the NovaCare tomorrow morning. looking at tape. There's no doubt. I don't care if it's 2 weeks away. You know Jalen Hurts will be at the NovaCare looking at tape tomorrow. He won't even take the day off, maybe. I don't know. But I thought Avonte Maddox played really well, made a couple really good tackles today. Avonte Maddox is probably the healthiest guy on our team. That feels 100%. All of the rest of these guys don't feel 100%. They're banged up. They're dealing with their own stuff. Nothing reported. But these guys, their bodies are banged up around this time. Maddox has been gone for so long. He's the freshest one out there. We could have had a pick with Slay. I thought that was kind of close on a couple hits they had. I think it was Johnson, the one hit on Johnson. I think that was from Sue, the Adamakan Sue hit on him. Defense played great. Even in the second half, they definitely, I thought the 49ers defense they were putting a lot of guys in the box. They were making sure our run game, we weren't going to run on them. I totally get it. Got pressure on Hurts at certain moments, but they made good decisions with the football. And obviously, they had some issues with, I think Hurts had a little bit of an issue today. I thought Steichen's play calling, I'm going to repeat myself because that's what I do. I'm just stupid like that. But yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm good to go. 2 more weeks of content for this season. And then, just think about it. You win the Super Bowl, you're a few weeks away from free agency. That's how fast it goes. We're right into the offseason after the Super Bowl. So I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but I hope everybody is happy. I know I'm just nitpicking everything, and, because we're content creators, this is what we have to do, but this doesn't worry me going into the Super Bowl. It doesn't worry. Obviously, I'm always worried about going to a big game like that because it's the biggest game of the year. This is it. This is the last game you play, and either you win it or you lose it. This is a game you're either going to remember for the good times or the bad times. That's where it's going to make a difference. So that's all I got to say, guys. I hope everyone had a fantastic day. I hope everyone had a fantastic night last night and really enjoyed this. We are going to the Super Bowl, guys. We are going to the Super Bowl, bro. I'm telling you right now, man, I want another one. I want another one of these. I want that. That's what I want. That's what I want to see. I miss that. I didn't know if we were ever going to get back to that, and we made it. We completely made it. So I've already been 21 minutes over this video. I want to make it too longer for you guys to watch, but I do appreciate everybody watching the videos. Appreciate everyone that showed up at the live play-by-play, liking, supporting the videos, everything. Love all you guys. I do not take it for granted. And fly, Eagles, fly. It's a Philly thing. SHAKESQUAD up, fly, Eagles, fly. Peace out, guys. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Woo!